Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Sonia Sood. So this isn't a hair or makeup video today. This is actually going to be a three-part series called Growing Up British Indian, and I will share my experiences growing up with racism and many other topics which I'm not ready to disclose just yet. But before I get started, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and leave a thumbs up. With everything going on in the world right now, it's really given me a lot of confidence to come on here and talk about my experiences with racism. I would say that it has been a huge part of my childhood, and that's really sad that racism, such a negative thing, has been a huge part of my growing up. I literally have a list of my experiences that I've written down. So the purpose of this video is to literally inform people how much racism can actually hurt. Not everyone has experienced it. Maybe that's because you're not a person of colour, or maybe because you grew up in a very multicultural area where racism didn't really exist that much. But for me, I grew up in a predominantly white area and I was the only Indian girl at my secondary school. There were a few other Asians, but they were Pakistani or Bengali. But Indian, yeah, I was the only one. In my area, there are a lot of black people as well, but the school I went to, there just wasn't a lot. So recently I've been thinking, when was the first time I got racially abused? I experienced racism in indirect ways. So I don't know if anyone else used to do this back at school, but when I was at primary school, me and my friends, we would pretend to be Spice Girls. We'd literally pretend oh, I'm Baby Spice, oh, I'm Sporty Spice, etc, etc. I was always Scary Spice. I wanted to be Baby Spice. Just once, I wanted to be Baby Spice. But I was always put as Scary Spice. And if you don't know the Spice Girls, Scary Spice was Mel B and she's black. Yeah, I'm not black, but I was probably the closest in terms of skin colour. So I was literally always Scary Spice. But it's I want to be Baby Spice. And even when we'd pretend to be the Bratz dolls, I'd always get put as Sasha. It's why can't I be Chloe? Why can I not be Chloe? Just for once. Why can't you be Sasha for once? Some of you might not think that as deep, but as a child, you don't really expect someone to call you a Paki. So this is very indirect racism to me now I think about it. Why was I always the brown or black one? Why couldn't I just be the blonde one with blue eyes for once? Do you know what I mean? I know I'm not blonde. I know I'm blonde, but I don't have blue eyes. Yeah, I know. But why was I never allowed to be Chloe or Baby Spice? Do you know what I mean? So in year 4, I had a lot of problems with this girl in my class. So year 4, I was 9 years old. And she was racist. She was actually racist. My mum would go to the head teacher and complain about her so much. So I remember I had a spot on my face, and you know when you get that little white bit at the end, it's called a whitehead. And I remember at lunchtime in the playground, she said to me, she's oh, you got a spot. And I was yeah, it's a whitehead. And she was oh, haha, don't you mean blackhead? Honestly, that was so bad, and we were only 9 years old, and I was literally thinking what the hell, what the actual hell. So I would go and tell my mum these things, and my mum would go to my school and talk to my head teacher about it. It was so bad, and she would always say stuff oh, red dot, blah blah blah. And this was primary school. This was actually primary school. We were little kids. First time someone actually called me a Paki was in year 6. That is so young, 10, 11 years old. Someone called me a Paki. I remember me and my friend's wife, we went after him. We actually ran after him. I was I'm gonna tell your dad. Where's your dad? I'm gonna tell him everything. And then when I saw his dad, I was thinking, shit, he looks racist as well. I feel when you're a person of colour, you can instantly tell if someone is racist just by not, you can't obviously tell by how they're dressed, but you know how they just carry themselves. Basically, I could tell if I went up to his dad and said, your son called me a packy, he'd be like, do you know what, son, well done, good. That, I literally was like, do you know what, I'm walking home. I'm actually walking home. I'm not dealing with this. Also, I was friends with this girl and her stepdad was racist. Her stepdad was so racist to the point he sent me a voicemail on my phone the day before I started secondary school telling me he was going to kill me. I was 11 years old and you're leaving a voicemail on my phone telling me you're going to kill me. Oh my God. When I played that voice note to my brother, my mum, oh my God, like, I can't even tell you what was going to happen, yeah. But my sister, she literally went, you got to tell the school, because this girl was going to be in the same form as me. So my sister was like, no, like, the best thing is, like, because I was stressed out. I was like, oh my God, I start big school tomorrow. It's my first day of secondary school tomorrow. And this girl's dad is literally threatening to kill me. And I was just, I was so stressed out because I was like, what do I actually do? So my sister was, you know what, like, we'll go to your teacher tomorrow, tell her everything, blah, 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 blah. But back in the day, like, the phone I had, I can't even remember, it was one of them slidey ones. Voicemails would only stay on your phone for like 24 hours or something. But yeah, like, that was mad. So anyways, I went to secondary school thinking, yeah, like, I'm not gonna have any problems with like racism, no one's gonna be horrible to me. Oh my God, was I wrong? Was I wrong? Oh my God, secondary school was the worst for me for racism. It was so bad. I was obviously called a packy. That's literally one of the things I was called. I was called a dirty Muslim. I'm not even Muslim. They would always say stuff about like a red dot, like, oh, where's your red dot? Ha 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 ha. I'd get called a terrorist. Jokes were always made about me having a corner shop, like, oh, is that your dad that works at that corner shop? Like, we don't even have a corner shop. They would always come up to me and speak to me with an Indian accent, like, all the time. And it's like, I can speak English, you know, like, I can actually speak English. Like, I'm speaking to you in English right now. Like, why are you coming up to me with that stupid Indian accent? Like, and it was so dumb. It's like, you don't even sound Indian, you just sound racist. Do you know what I mean? Because you are racist. So in year 7, when there was like a group of people, yeah, they were like the populars, the bullies, or whatever you want to call them. They were racist. They were so racist. Especially some of the boys, like, they'd pick on me. And in year 7, I went singing to the teachers. Like, miss, he called me a packy. Miss, he called me a terrorist. Like, I would actually go singing to my teachers, yeah. And I would snitch, 100% I'd snitch. And you know what? They were like, oh, okay, Sonia, like, you know, we'll have a word with them. Have a word with them, okay? They wouldn't say anything for the rest of the day, and the next day they would start like, oh, you fucking packy, oh, you fucking Muslim, like, all of this shit. Like, they would just still say it. And then in year 8 we were put into like different sets. So I think in year 7 we were taught by form groups, so I had my friends in that. In year 8 we were put into like different sets of, you know, like your ability and stuff. I was in the same class as them racists, like, and all my friends were in different sets. They were all together, and it was just me that was literally left with them racists in class. They'd throw stuff at me, they'd laugh and all of that, and to them it just seemed like one big joke. To them it was just a joke, whereas for me, like, it was upsetting me. Like, I was upset and I was angry. I was literally in the same class as them, and I was thinking, oh my God. And I just stopped going to school. Like, I would tell my mum, like, no mum, like, I'm actually ill, like, please, I'm actually ill, I'm really ill. And she'd be like, you were ill last week? Again, at the start of year 8, I would go singing to the teachers, like, miss, like, sort him out. Like, he was throwing stuff at me in maths. It never got sorted. And then there'd be girls as well that would say stuff, yeah. And it got to the point where this racism was not stopping. So I took the matter into my own hands. And I got angry. Like I got angry. If I'm telling you, miss, she said this, miss, he said that, and they're not stopping, what can I do? Like what else am I meant to do to get them to stop? I had to get called out of my lesson, and my teacher's like, did you do it? And I went, yeah, like I did do it. And they were like, why? Like, you know it's against our school rules. I was literally like, miss, how many times have I told you that she's been saying this to me? How many times have I told you that these people are picking on me because of the colour of my skin? How many times have I told you this and nothing has been resolved? And now that I've chose to take this route and handle it myself, now you're gonna put me in trouble. It was mad. It was like, I'm telling you, like, miss, help me, and you're not helping me, and the situation is just getting worse. It's getting so much worse. But then after, what I did notice is once I started to handle the situation by myself, things got slightly better, but it didn't stop. The girls, yeah, they'd stop, but did the boys stop? No. In year 9, things got so bad with the guys, like to the point where one of them would like punch me, and he'd be like, you fucking packy, yeah, you're the colour of my shoe. He'd call me like the N-word, he'd call me a coon, and it just, do you know what it is? It's like, you're just throwing racist words. Why are you calling me a coon? Like why are you calling me the N-word? Like you're just throwing racist words about now. Like anything racist, you're just doing it to hurt me. So he'd punch me. Like he'd punch me so hard, never in my face. It'd be like my leg, my arm, and me being me, I hit him back, but he would always punch me harder. And I'd literally be like, you know what, like my arm actually can't take it no more. Like I'm literally covered in bruises. I am covered in bruises because he's been hitting me. And again, these lot just thought it was some joke. They thought it was just some big joke, and yeah, it was shitty. So when I was in year 9, this girl in the year below, I think she went to a different school. Oh my God. So this was like BBM days and stuff. She literally messaged me saying, go back to Pakistan and get AIDS. That has got to be the most disgusting comment I think I've ever got at school, and that till this day has stuck by me. Like, do you know what? I remember that girl. I feel like, do you know what? I feel like putting her Instagram name at the bottom of this video or something, but I don't know if that's a good idea. But literally, like, she was nasty. She was so nasty. How can you say that? Also, in year 9, I started to make other ethnic friends. So obviously not Indian, because there was like no other Indians at school, but there was an Algerian girl, a Zimbabwean girl, Kenyan, mixed race. Like, I started to get along with the minorities, and I don't know, things are, I guess, slightly started to get better because I was friends with people who like almost, who understood me more than like the white people in my class. And that's another thing. Like, my white friends at school never got to know me. They didn't get to know my culture. They didn't get to know like my religion. Like, the friends I've got now from school, I don't even know if they know what language I speak. I don't even know if they know what my religion is. Like, I just feel like my friends at school never got to know me, except my friends who were also ethnic minorities, because I think that's just something like more to talk about, like, oh, tell me how you say this in your language, and like, oh, like, what do you eat and stuff like that. So by year 10, I don't know what happened. By year 10, I actually don't know what happened. Like, the racism slowly started to die down, you know. Like, I got more into my studies because obviously GCSEs, and the people who were racist to me just weren't really racist to me anymore. Maybe they'd grown up, or I don't know, they weren't racist to me. Like in the corridors and stuff, they'd be like, oh, like, you're right, and like just like smile at me. Like, some of them would actually be nice to me as well. Like, It was crazy. Year 11 was like the best year. Like, I was so focused on my studies. Like, I had a nice group of friends. That's the thing. That's another thing. Although I was getting racially abused a lot at school, didn't mean I didn't have any friends. Like, I wasn't a loser. Like, I had friends in it. I had friends. I wasn't popular. People liked me, but there was just a few people that were so nasty. So in sixth form, I had maybe a couple of racist comments made, not towards me, but just in general. Like, I remember in year 12, my economics teacher, I don't know, we were talking about like India, and he asked the class like, oh, does anyone know like what a sari is? And this girl went, yeah, her, a towel. And everyone laughed, and I was literally sitting there like, and then the teacher was like, a towel? Like, a towel, huh? And I was literally like, I literally had no words. How can you say someone's ethnic wear resembles a towel? How racist and ignorant is that? That was disgusting. Like, I've literally experienced racism like my whole life, basically. Honestly, so much more happened, but if I continue speaking, we would literally be here all day, so I kind of have to cut it short. Some of you are probably also thinking, Sonia, how did you keep so sane throughout all them years? And the truth is, whenever something would happen, I would go and tell my sister, and she would always say, look, Sonia, these people aren't going to do much with their lives. You're going to get out of this shitty town, you're going to go to university and make so many nice Indian friends who won't discriminate against you. But was that true? Did the discrimination really end when I went to university and made Indian friends? Or did it just continue in a different way? Wait till my next video where I will be talking about inequality and discrimination in the Punjabi community. If you like this video, then please make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I will see you in part 2.